Yeah,
Logging into system. Logging into system.
On behalf of Serba Dinamik Group Berhad, I would like to welcome all Tan Sri, Datuk Sri, Datuk Datuk, Datin Datin, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to all of our guests of honor and audience from all over the world and the universe. I hope everyone is staying safe wherever you are. Thank you all, and we would like to welcome you to the new space economy virtual collaboration between Serba Dinamik Group Berhad and the Malaysian Space Agency, MYSA, and the Memorandum of Understanding signing between Serba Dinamik Group Berhad and Swiss to 12, our strategic partner based in Switzerland. We are so grateful and appreciate you taking the time to be part of this important event today. Before we move on to the main agenda, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our gracious VIPs who will be part of this virtual event. Her Excellency Andrea Ricklin, Ambassador of Switzerland to Malaysia. His Excellency Datuk Raja Reja Raja Zaib Shah, Ambassador of Malaysia to Ukraine. His Excellency Alexander Nachitello, Ukrainian Ambassador to Malaysia. His Excellency Abdul Malik Melvin Castellino, Ambassador of Malaysia to Italy. His Excellency Cristiano Majipinto, Italian Ambassador to Malaysia. Yang Berusaha Tuan Haji Asli Kamil Napia, Director General of the Malaysian Space Agency. The new chairman of the State Space Agency of Ukraine, Mr. Vladimir Tafte, yang berbahagia, Datuk Haji Abdul Qadir Sahib, Director of Serba Dinamik Group Berhad, and Dr. Emil de Rick, Group CEO of Swiss to 12. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, attending virtually are our respected collaborators, strategic partners, and the bigger teams from Serba Dinamik, MOSTI, MYSA, and other relevant agencies. These are important players of today's event that lend us the support and cooperation to make this event a reality. Distinguished guests, we are here today to witness the momentous occasion of Serba Dinamik Group Berhad venturing into the new space economy with the support of the Malaysian Space Agency, MYSA. Space ventures once regarded as only for the elite had now been made possible to explore by many countries since the past 20 years, thanks to the extensive research and development by specific universities, private companies, and government agencies such as NASA, ESA, SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, and so on. New space economy is a representation of the evolution in space sector into a new era unfolding fourth industrial revolution. Serba Dinamik, via its recently established Space Technology Division, have a vision to be the pioneering private entity from Malaysia bound to the challenge to forward thrust Malaysia as a key player in space technology both regionally and globally. In December 2019, the government established the Malaysian Space Agency through the merging of the National Space Agency and the Malaysian Remote Sensing Agency to further enhance the efficiency of delivering government services in the space sector. MYSA's main mission is to strengthen the country's capabilities in the space sector as a contributor to economic growth, knowledge, and sustainable development. Serba Dinamik Group Berhad is the total integrated engineering services solution provider established 28 years ago in Bintulu, Sarawak. Its main business is in operations and maintenance, engineering, procurement, construction and commissioning, ITC solutions, and education and training. Today, the group of companies are present in 24 countries over 6 continents and have operational offices in Malaysia, Indonesia, UAE, India, Qatar, Switzerland, Netherlands, Italy, UK, and USA. Serba Dinamik is built on technology and innovation as its foundation. Today, we see the world is moving rapidly into digitization with new innovations and technologies driving the economies. We at Serba Dinamik has been leading and leveraging on this transformation to capitalize on the new businesses and new markets to stay relevant and sustainable. Our first initiative under our space technology division that will be launched soon will be creating a platform to capitalize and build our capabilities in terms of skill or professional manpower, knowledge and technology in equipment tools, open up new businesses along the value chain and building the ecosystem within our country. Moving forward, Serba Dinamik and the Malaysian Space Agency will work together to establish a legitimate new space industry in Malaysia. This is needed to support the Malaysia Space Exploration 2030, an agenda championed by the Malaysian Space Agency for the purpose of shaping an ideal new space ecosystem. Without further ado, I invite Yang Bahagia, Dato Dr. Engineer, Technologist, Muhammad Abdul Karim bin Abdullah, the Group CEO of Serba Dinamik Group Berhad, to deliver his welcoming remark. Spaceport Bintulu Ground Control to Dato Karim. This is Major Haridon.
Yes, Major. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Her Excellency Andrea Richard Lin, Ambassador of Switzerland to Malaysia. His Excellency Dato Raja Reza Raja Zaib Shah, Ambassador of Malaysia to Ukraine. His Excellency Alexander Machitailo, Ukrainian Ambassador to Malaysia. His Excellency Abdul Malik Melvin Castellino, Ambassador of Malaysia to Italy. His Excellency Cristiano Magipinto, Italian Ambassador to Malaysia. Yang berusaha Tuan Haji Azli Kamil Napiah, Director General of Malaysian Space Agency. The new Chairman of the State Space Agency of Ukraine, Mr. Vladimir Taftel, congratulations. Yang berbahagia Datuk Haji Abdul Kadir Sahib, Director of Serba Dinamik Group Berhad, and Dr. Emil De Rich, Group CEO of Swiss to 12, our Switzerland partner. I would like to also welcome all Tan Sri, Datuk Sri, Datuk, Datin Datin, and to all our guests of honor and audience, good afternoon, Malaysia, and good morning for those who are in European region. I hope everyone is staying safe wherever you are. Thank you all, and we would like to welcome you to the new space economy virtual collaboration between Serba Dinamik Group Berhad and the Malaysian Space Agency, MYSA, and the MOU signing between Serba Dinamik and Swiss to 12, our strategic partner based in Switzerland. We often see people get excited when we talk about space. So many things that seem like sci-fi are becoming more of a reality with the current technological advancements. 52 years ago, humanity first set foot on the surface of another world. In the words of Neil Armstrong, one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. 14 years ago, Malaysia's first ever astronaut, Dr. Said Muzaffar, was sent to the International Space Station aboard the Soyuz TMA-11. And very recently, 3 probes were sent to the red planet, with 2 of them actually land to pursue on the scientific mission. These events are evidence of mankind's ability to venture into space, and as technology further advances in this era, greater things can be achieved. The space industry has evolved over the years. Following the terminations of a space shuttle program, then starts the new space economy era. Once the domain of the one-upmanship by national governments, the so-called final frontier is fast becoming the arena of private enterprise. Space economy is the full range of activities and the use of resources that create value and benefits to human beings in the course of exploring, researching, understanding, managing, and utilizing space. The space sector has distinguishing features such as the use of cutting-edge technologies and longer terms for both project development and return on investment. It is a government-dominated sector as access to space is costly, involves technical risk, and the viabilities of the space-enabled services requires large users markets. Linkage to defense is deeply rooted since the very beginning of the space age, as during the Cold War space activities were also a tool of political and military confrontation between USA and USSR. The above is true for all space economy that is characterized by big government programs, a few big contractors, little competition, and no growth, and usually is defense oriented. In contrast, the new space economy will have a mix of government and commercial programs, a diversity of contractors, strong competitions, as exponential growth. With the initiatives from private entities to run researches and developments of the space industry, it boosts the economic capacity and viability of the space economy. The global space economy in 2018 registered trade at $384 billion with a CAGR of 5.6% 6 years forward. Morgan Stanley projected that by 2040, the global trade of space will reach over $1.1 trillion, and the trend in space economy is now dominated by the private entities with a staggering of 75%. Dubbed as the world's second fastest growing sector, one of the pillars of the new space economy is satellite internet. Amazon's Project Kuiper announced that it will put over more than 3,000 satellites into orbit to provide high-speed internet to up to 4 billion new customers. SpaceX has started to launch and still launching their Starlink to put nearly 12,000 satellites into low Earth orbit. Facebook are realizing that it is cheaper and more efficient to beam internet to people via satellite than deploying drones. And these are just one of the many pillars of the new space economy. Malaysia, as we speak, have yet to participate in new space economy, even though the numbers of populations of more than 600 million people in Asia. For that, Malaysian Space Agency has taken the initiative via the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI. The Malaysian Space Board Bill 2020 has been tabled for its first reading last year. This bill functions to advise the government on matters pertaining to the space industry. We believe Malaysia would explore the potential into venturing the new space economy. We in Serba Dinamik fully supports the initiative that will promote more private-public partnership amongst the industry players. Quoting from Morgan Stanley's audio podcast, space is the disruptions of all disruptions. IT ranges from Internet 2.0 to AI and FinTech new frontier. It is truly at the pinnacle of frontier technology. Internet 2.0 is a revolution to provide access for internet to the rural, most unserved area. It is a pity that there are still half populations of the world that is unconnected. On AI, space is indispensable factor to catalyze the growth. For example, advances in Earth imaging data will increasingly provide vital insights to help in the calculation of macroeconomic activity, accurately measuring migrant flows and the impact of climate change, to name a few. And on the fintech IT, it will impact in secure global transactions across continent via decentralized platform, namely blockchain. This example is to name a few, and the potential is limitless. First, in Serba Dinamik, we strongly believe in cutting-edge frontier technology, pushing the barrier to its utmost potential and realizing all that was once a dream. And we, as we speak, doing it on other fronts of Industry Revolution 4.0. And now space is the next area that we are now exploring to bring Malaysia soaring high again.
Thank you very much, Datuk Karim, for the inspiring and wonderful speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of YB Khairy Jamaluddin, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, I would like to thank the Malaysia Space Agency MYSA and Serba Dinamik Group Berhad for allowing me to be present today to deliver his keynote address. Yang Berusaha Datuk Dr. IRTS Muhammad Abdul Karim bin Abdullah, Group CEO Serba Dinamik Group Berhad. Yang berbahagia Tuan Haji Azri Kamil bin Napiah, Director General Malaysian Space Agency MYSA, distinguished guests, Tan Sri, Datuk Sri, Datuk, Datin, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to read his speech. Malaysia fully recognizes that space science and technology and its application plays a significant role towards creating better world, especially in realizing the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Malaysia also recognizes the benefits of space technology and its application in various sectors. I am happy to announce that we are on the path to be the first ASEAN nation to produce a space bill, Rang Undang-Undang Angkasa, that will regulate the space industry in Malaysia. The demand for data, images, and information obtained from satellites has transformed our space industry into something completely new. The wide usage of space technology and its application in all sectors, especially in an era of IoT and liquid data, where the usage of internet applications has become double and created huge potential for the space sector to become a major economic contributor to Malaysia. With the development of this trend, Malaysia aims to fully utilize space capabilities, towards which the Malaysian government approved the National Space Policy 2030. The National Space Policy 2030 recognizes the need for access to space capabilities to improve public services and national security. It will also be a reference in determining the directions of space sector development in Malaysia. The government understands that space activities, especially satellite communication, remote sensing, and navigation applications, will have immense effects on the national economy and societal well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, as a space participant, Malaysia is seriously looking forward to its national space legislation and putting the law into practice. So, the Malaysian Outer Space Act will be formulated to create clear regulations and guidelines in administering, coordinating, and monitoring space activities at all levels of users, be it government agencies, industries, or individuals. With this act, the Malaysian government will be able to monitor and supervise its national space activities effectively in accordance with international law. The Malaysian government's effort will be more focused on the development of space technology, infrastructure, and applications that have an impact on safety, both economic and social, specifically in space sector arena, remote sensing, communications, and navigation. We are aware that these focus areas will contribute to critical needs such as planning and management of natural resources, weather and climate prediction, search and rescue, SAR, disaster management, infrastructure monitoring, mapping, navigation, and safety. To ensure the continuity of the space sector development, the space industry must be encouraged to grow. I look forward to seeing more Malaysians involved in outer space. Thank you.
Thank you, Yang Berhormat, for the support in developing the new space industry in Malaysia. Now we will witness Tuan Haji Asli Kamil, the Director General of MYSA, to hand over the letter of support to Datuk Karim of Serba Dinamik as a gesture of the Malaysian Space Agency's support towards this initiative.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. On behalf of Malaysian Space Agency, MYSA, I hand over this letter of support to Serba Dinamik Group Berhad.
Serba Dinamik to MYSA, confirm received. Alhamdulillah.
This marks a momentous event which outlines the way forward for our nation to propel forward in this agenda. A round of applause to all. Now, let us move on to our next in the agenda, the signing of MOU between Serba Dinamik Group Berhad and Swiss 12. Ladies and gentlemen, Just a brief background on Swiss 212. It is a spin-off of the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne, Switzerland. Swiss 212 provides high-performing and versatile antenna payload products based on their mastery of additive manufacturing technology, including 3D printing technology. Their expertise, innovative processes, and customer focus combines to make Swiss 212 an engineering thought leader in the space sector. Serba Dinamik will be collaborating in research and development using the 3D printing technology for space application and satellite development provided by Swiss 212. The collaboration will create industry supply chain and opportunities for the young local engineers to be trained as satellite engineers in Switzerland. I would like to invite Yang Berhormat, Yang Berusaha Tuan Haji Azli Kamil Napia, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Haji Abdul Kadir Sahib, and Dr. Peter Guggenbach from Swiss 212 to witness the signing ceremony. Dear esteemed Datuk Karim and Dr. Emil, please, if you may sign on the iPad in front of you. Thank you very much to all the distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of our event today. Thank you very much for watching the live stream of today. We are just starting out today. There will be many more events coming out from this new space economy, so stay tuned. Thank you all to our honorable guests. On behalf of Serba Dinamik Management Team and Space Technology Division, I wish all the best. May these new initiatives spur and accelerate the growth and development of the country's advancement in space technology. We wish to see Serba Dinamik to be the leader in this new endeavor. Until then, stay safe always. Thank you and have a great evening. Signing off.